Have you ever stood in one place and wondered if life might be sweeter somewhere else? If the glitter and bustle of another world could outshine the quiet comfort you already have? This is the story of two cousins, one from the noisy city, one from the gentle countryside, and how they discovered where their hearts truly belonged. In a meadow where the grass swayed like waves under the summer breeze, beside a brook that laughed over smooth stones, lived a little brown mouse named Maisie. Her home was tucked deep under the roots of an old oak tree, where the moss felt like velvet under her paws, and the air always carried the scent of sunshine and fresh earth. Life here was peaceful. She gathered berries so ripe their juice stained her whiskers, stored toasted grains, and nibbled on crumbs left behind after picnics in the meadow. One golden afternoon, as bees hummed lazily among the dandelions, Maisie heard her name being called in a crisp, confident voice. Out from between the grasses came her cousin Reginald, the town mouse. His fur was sleek, his whiskers glistened, and he wore a tiny waistcoat that caught the sunlight like silk. A little satchel was slung over his shoulder, and he smelled faintly of roasted chestnuts and something sharp and fancy, perfume, perhaps. "Maisie, my dear," Reginald declared, giving her a quick hug. "What a charming little patch of wilderness you've got here. But tell me, how on earth do you manage to live in such quiet?" Maisie smiled, her eyes kind. "I like it quiet. Here the stars shine brighter, and the air tastes like fresh rain. And the food, well, it's simple, but it's ours." Reginald's eyes drifted to her small wooden plate of barley and apple slices. He raised an eyebrow. "Simple, yes, very." That night, as fireflies painted the meadow with their golden sparks and the moon hung like a silver lantern, Reginald spoke of the city. He told her about kitchens filled with sweet cakes, towers of cheese, and roasted nuts piled high in crystal bowls. He painted pictures of grand dining halls lit by candles, with crumbs of buttery bread and bits of feast scattered for the taking after humans had left. Maisie's eyes widened with each word. "It sounds like something from a dream." Reginald's whiskers twitched. "Then come with me, just for a visit. Let me show you what a real dinner looks like." The next morning, after the dew had melted away, the two cousins set out. They passed fields humming with grasshoppers, climbed over hedges, and followed winding paths until the wide green gave way to stone streets and tall chimneys breathing smoke into the sky. The city was loud. Wheels clattered on cobblestones, bells rang in the distance, and human feet stomped like drum beats overhead. Maisie's ears twitched nervously, but she followed Reginald through cracks in the walls until they slipped into a grand house that smelled of roast beef and cinnamon. In the dining room, a feast lay spread across a polished table. Golden pastries gleamed under the light, wedges of cheese waited in neat rows, roasted meats glistened with juices, and tiny dishes of honey caught the glow like liquid amber. Maisie's breath caught. "It's beautiful," she whispered. They had barely begun nibbling a bit of cheddar when, bang, a door slammed open. Thump! Heavy boots pounded the floor. Woof! Woof! A huge dog burst into the room, its teeth flashing, its paws striking the ground like thunder. The two mice scattered, darting behind a teacup, then diving beneath the folds of a napkin. The dog's hot breath swept past as it lunged, but in the chaos, the cousins squeezed through a crack in the wall, hearts hammering. When they stopped, Maisie's chest rose and fell like she'd run for miles. "Is it always like this?" she asked in a trembling voice. Reginald tried to smooth his whiskers. "Well, the food's worth the risk. Sometimes." Maisie didn't answer right away. She stared out a tall window at the rooftops, the sky pale with smoke, and thought of her little burrow. She thought of the way the brook sang outside her door and how the cricket's song wrapped around her as she slept. That evening, she hugged Reginald. "Thank you for showing me your world," she said softly. Then she turned toward the fields and began the long walk home. When she finally reached her oak tree, the stars were already out, scattered like diamonds across the dark. The breeze whispered through the leaves, a lullaby only the countryside knew. She curled into her mossy nest with a slice of apple, feeling her heartbeat slow. The food might not be fancy. The plates might not be silver. But here, she was safe. She was peaceful. And she was home. Sometimes, a single quiet crumb in a place you love is worth more than 1,000 feasts taken in fear. So tell me, if you had to choose, would you take the glitter of the city or the comfort of the countryside? Share your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more magical tales that warm the heart.